What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at the most expensive cards from EB-02, because here's the deal, right? I told you what were likely to be the big cards from EB-02 before it released. And I told you the other day that you shouldn't be buying singles right now. Singles are massively overpriced, as is always the case on the release of a new set. But I also told you that when the set was out and we had some information and we had some data, we would look at the top 10 cards from the set with actual numbers, and that's where we are. So that's what we're going to have a look at. With a big caveat. Because you see, in EB-02, we've got these gold foil leaders. And there's two important points about the gold foil leaders. Number one, if we include them, they absolutely dominate the top 10 list. Although, to be clear, at the end, I am going to do a second top 10 list nice and quickly with the foil leaders included, so you can see the difference that makes. But part of the issue of including those foil leaders is the fact that there haven't been that many sales. The pull rates are very low, we don't have as much information, and that makes it much more awkward to actually try and figure out which of these cards are the big cards. So first we're going to do a top 10 list not including the foil leaders, and then we're going to talk about them and include them when we get to the end, because that seems like the right way to go about doing it. Sound like a plan? Excellent. Because in at number 10, we've got ourselves Nefertari Vivi, which is too low. It's coming in at let's call it about $28. I like to try and round to the nearest 5, but it doesn't really work here. So we're going to start off calling this one $28. And the thing is, this is a great card. Free cost 2k, counter plus 1,000, and on play if you've got a multicolour leader, and 5 or fewer cards in hand, you draw 2. And you can always use that to attack, whack some Don on it and all of that, but it's drawing you a bunch of cards. And the draw is good. This should be a top 5 card at least if you take out the foil leaders. This should be like a top 5 card. The fact that it's not is frankly bizarre. This is way too low, but that's where we are. In at number 9, we got ourselves a Yamato coming in at about $30. This is one of the ones that jumped Nefertari Vivi, which I don't think should have. And certainly if we have a look over in Japan at the prices, it should not be above Vivi. It's a decent enough card. Activate main once per turn. If your leader is Land of Wano or Ace, give a rested Don to your leader, and then your character gains Rush for the turn. It's fine. This character obviously gains Rush for the turn. It's fine. It's alright. Shouldn't be in at number 9. In at number 8, one of the cards that I actually was lucky enough to pull from my box, we've got the alternate art of Nell coming in at about $35. And this is the card which is going to revitalize the Enel deck. It's a very good card. What we've got here is, if your leader's Sky Island, you gain Rush. And when attacking, you can trash the card from your hand. And if you've got 1 or less life, bearing in mind the Enel deck really plays a lot of the game with, going from 1 to 0 life and then back up to 1, then you get 1,000 power and you get to put a card on the top of your deck on top of your life. It's only really for Enel decks, but I don't care because it's phenomenal in Enel decks. And yeah, it's a really good card, a really good alternate art. This one should be here on the list. This one makes an awful lot of sense. And no, I've not forgotten that Calgara is also a Sky Island leader. I said what I said. Coming in at number 7, we've got ourselves the alternate art of Nico Robin. Another card which I think is too high, coming in at just shy of $50. And it's Nico Robin, and the artwork is cool, and it's a purple straw hat, which are all the rage right now. And you got Blocker and on KO, Dom -1, find a straw hat from the top 3 cards of your deck. I'm not saying this is a bad card by any stretch of the imagination. No. What I absolutely am saying is that this should not be higher than some of the cards we've already looked at. And certainly if you have a look over in Japan, this card should not be as high as it is. I'm not saying it's a bad card, and I think if you pull this, you should be delighted, but I am saying it is a little bit too high. Coming in at number 6, the other alternate art that I pulled from my box, it is the Nami, which is coming in at about $70. And this one's nice and simple, right? It's Nami, we've got the nostalgia from the early days of One Piece coming on here, which is very strong. And it's your generic Straw Hat Searcher for that Luffy deck from EB-02, which is going to be like the best deck by quite a wide margin as soon as EB-02 is out, which it is. It's the best deck by a pretty wide margin. So we got a staple in the best deck with phenomenal artwork. Add it all up together, this is where we are. In at number 5 and too high eventually, but apparently not now, at about $80, it's just a secret rare Luffy. The thing is, it's the only secret rare in the set, and it's obscenely good, to put it simply. If your leader is multicolor and your opponent's got 5 or more Don, you gain Rush. And when attacking once per turn, you can return to active Don. Very important, it's active Don, so it's not your usual Don -2. And then set this character to active and add the top card of your life to your hand. But you can get a 7k with Rush, or, higher if you boost it up, attacking twice. It's like a 4-of staple in that Luffy deck. And it's a secret rare with a low pull rate. So it might just be the regular art of Luffy. Make no mistake about it, this card's a big deal. It's why I might buy a second box of EB-02. My plan was to just buy the 3 super rares and the 1 secret rare I was missing and then have all the main cards in the set. Not including alternate arts, I'm not rich. But, yeah, if this is going to be like an $80 card, I might as well just go and buy another box and cross my fingers and hope to pull the secret rare. Worst case scenario, I get a bunch of good super rares with which to play, and I get some other alternate arts. And I might even pull one of those foil leaders. I might pull one of the other cards on this list. Starting to seem like it might be worth it. Now, coming in a smidge high, I'm going to call it 85. I've rounded up slightly, but I feel all right with it. We've got ourselves the alternate art Sanji and Pudding. And I put them a little different, but it is worth noting the Luffy and the Sanji and Pudding are very close right now. Sanji and Pudding edging it out, don't get me wrong, but they are pretty close. And what we've got with the Sanji and Pudding is alternate art with both Sanji and Pudding on. And these are popular characters. Everybody likes this card for that reason. But we've also got another great card, which is a 4-of staple in that Luffy deck. Once per turn, when 2 or more Don in the field are returned to your Don deck, add a Don card from your Don deck active. And on play, if you've got the same number of Don as your opponent or fewer, you get to draw a card. There's a real theme going on in this top 10 list. We saw it here with Sanji and Pudding. We saw it with the Luffy. We saw it with the Nami. Essentially, if a card is a proper staple in that Luffy deck, which is the best thing to come out of EB-02, let's be clear, yeah, you are going to see a boost up of value. That's just the way it is. In at number 3, we've got the alternate art of the secret rare Luffy, coming in at about $135. We don't need to talk too much about this. We just talked about this card quite a lot. But this is the alternate art version of the secret rare. Cooler art, lower pull rate. You see where we're going. It's a big deal. In at number 2, we've got the alternate art leader Luffy, which is apparently like $300 right now. That seems way too high. And here's the thing, right? On the one hand, $300 for an alt art leader is just absurd. For any alt art leader is absurd. And on the other hand, as I've told you a couple of times now, with EB-02 legal, this is the hands down, no question, by a pretty wide margin, best deck in the format. That's what you need to know. That's why this leader is so high. And like I've said, there's a bunch of cards on this list, a lot of this list, honestly, which are bumped up purely because they are staples from that Luffy deck. Add it all together, and okay, fine. It is a $300 leader, but you do kind of see why it's a $300 leader. We've got activate main once per turn, Don -2. If you've only got Straw Hats on your field, set 2 of your Don to active, and then you gain 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Which, of course, means that during your opponent's next turn, your leader's got 1,000 extra power, and all of your opponent's attacks need to do an extra 1,000 power. And yeah, makes perfect sense. And obviously at number 1, we've got the Manga Luffy, which for what it's worth is actually the same card as that really good secret rare I keep telling you about. 3 versions on this list, even the regular, which is impressive. It's a little tiny bit above $1,000 right now, maybe 1,030, 1,040. I'm cool rounding it to 1,000, but it generally is 20, 30, 40 bucks higher than this. It's Manga Luffy, it's the iconic Gear 2 pose, and it's also a redonkulously playable card. Now, I know with the mangas, the playability isn't that important, but right now, this is a pretty big deal. So that's your top 10 list, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but if we include the foil leaders, the list starts to look a lot different. Now, the Rob Lucci, I'm having a look around, I'm seeing very few sales for this. So, Rob Lucci I'm not putting on this list, but I'm also telling you that it's a playable leader that's probably going to be quite high. There's a couple others I'm not seeing sales for that aren't relevant, so I'm just saying, for the time being, Rob Lucci maybe should be on this list, but it's not right now. So with the foil leaders, in at number 10 we got Charlotte Pudding. In at number 9 we've got Uta, they're both just under about $200. In at number 8 we've got Vegapunk, which is just over $200. Keep an eye out for this one though, there is a misprint going around which might elevate this, we'll talk more about this later. In at number 7 we got the Yamato in at about $230, this is a leader I like very much indeed. In at number 6 we've got a Nell at about $235, which is very relevant because like I've said, that is getting a lot better now. In at number 5 we've got the Luffy, the purple Luffy, the really playable one at about $245. In at number 4, we got the Vinsmoke Reiju, which is a pretty good card right now. Had a good showing in Mulheim when I was casting it the other day. That's coming in at about $270. Number 3 is your Luffy leader from the set. Number 2 is Boa Hancock, by far the most sought after of these foil leaders. Reiju came in at about $270. That was the next highest. This one's currently coming in about $400. That's kind of huge. And then the number 1 is obviously the Manga Luffy again. With the foil leaders, take it all with a pinch of salt right now in terms of value because we're early, the pull rates are low, we don't have a lot of information, but I figured you guys would want to at least know which of these foil leaders were the best to pull, and now you know. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you pulled from EB-02, go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.